So, Runa, I've got another important question for you. And I know that you go into this in detail in your book, but could you just give us the highlights? What's the secret to discovering what your X factor really is?
It is, I think, the really the core part of you, and the secret there is something that is really deep inside you. It's your values. It's when you really know your values and you honor your values, that's really the cornerstone of basically everything that you will be doing. And what I've noticed, and I just think this is, the more that I dig into this, the more that I see people out there who are doing it and are not only staying true to their own values, because what happens when we stay true to our values is that we start to value other people's values. And that's when we start to open up for other people's X factors. And as a business owner, when we are dealing with our team, when we are building up our team, knowing our team's X factor and allowing our team's X factor to shine is something that is going to make our life so much easier. So it has a ripple effect, this little secret. So this, combined with loving wholeheartedly what you're doing, is going to give you deep insight into your X factor, your values, and your purpose in life.
That is so well said. I am so blown away by your mission and your vision of what you're trying to do with the X Factor, and I just really am impressed with this. So what are some surprising ways that we can actually leverage our X Factor and put it in practice?
What's going on right now at Facebook is a little challenge that a few of my friends and myself, we started following the publishing of my book. We call it the X Factor challenge. And what people are doing there, which is actually one of the things that you can do instantly to discover your own X Factor, they are going to they're posting on their Facebook site a simple question. They're saying, I'm taking the X Factor challenge. I want to figure out, what do you see? What do you guys see as my X Factor? And they're even tagging a few of their friends to get their input, and their friends are then asking, they get curious, ooh, so what do other people see in me? And I can tell you, Elaine, I just watched a few of these things, from people around me, and it is so rewarding to see. I can just see the smiles on people's faces when they realize what people are seeing in them. We don't often talk about that, do we?
Not nearly enough. The problem is you live with yourself every day, and so you take yourself for granted. And getting that outside perspective is incredibly profound. I started doing that, and I'm definitely going to join the X Factor Challenge because that is a brilliant, brilliant idea. Kudos for coming up with that.
Thank you. And that's really what I want to see. I really want to see that the whole thing, the outcome, what will this little book of mine is going to give to this world. I really want to see people accepting themselves, people stepping into their own leadership, people going out there understanding that this life is so precious that they should do every single thing that they can do to make their dreams come true. They should know what they want to do, and they should talk about what they want to do. Because what I've found out, that when every single time I've mentioned something that I want, there's always someone around me who reaches out and support me. What I've at the same time, I've also noticed with people around me that for some reason they are not telling others what they want. So in return, nobody knows that. And it sounds
You've hit on one of the biggest challenges that especially women business owners have, because we're told we have to hold it all together. We have to hold down a job, we have to grow a business, we have to take care of the family, we have to handle the shopping, we got to clean the house, we got to do it all, right? And we're so used to taking it on, all of it on, we're not good at asking for what we want. And sometimes it's not, hand out. We're looking for a hand up. We're looking for collaboration, for people to share the load with us. And I love your perspective on that.
And that's when we talk about us women in this section, it is built in our DNA to collaborate, to show emotionally, be emotionally intelligent and use our emotions. We have every single thing that we need already built inside of us. But because of whatever the culture or whatever we brought up with or however we decided to look at ourselves, we are holding ourselves back. And I think that once we as women start to understand that and we just openly start to collaborate on that one thing that we want to do together, so that really the power of minds come together, wow, we can move mountains.
Absolutely.
And we know what we see, our foremothers, what they did, and they didn't have half of a fraction of all the things that we have today, meaning technology and way of living and all that. Yeah.
Oh, we have unprecedented resources now that have never been available before in history. And so it's a matter of reaching out and using those resources. And that really leads me into my next question. Obviously, a lot of people listening to this are blown away by the whole concept of they have an X factor. It's pretty straightforward to figure out what their X factor is, and it will hugely differentiate them in the marketplace once they start using their X factor effectively. What can they do right now while they're watching this show to get started discovering their X factor?
Well, apart from the Facebook challenge, they can simply start right now. Well, let's just say if they're in the workplace right now, ask their colleague. If tonight when they're having dinner with their family, make it a discussion. What do you see as my X factor? And share, I see as your X factor is this and this and this. Talk about it with their children, with their spouse, with their co-workers, who starts the conversation, and make it fun and make it interesting. And this is the thing that this can be so much fun, and this can be so giving. It can bring conversation at the dinner table to a whole nother level. The thing is, it's so simple. Can you see how simple it is?
I absolutely can see how simple it is, and it's so funny. We're so used to making things harder than they need to be. Often we back away. We think, oh, well, it's simple, it's easy, then it means it doesn't matter. But in reality, I love what you're saying about making this a game, make it playful, and ask people, what are 3 words that you think really describe me? Or what are 3 words that really describe my product or my service? And just see what they have to say and let the conversation flow. Don't judge it, just enjoy it.
I like what you say there. Don't judge it. Very important. So when someone shares to you what they see as your X factor, take it. Embrace it. Think about, oh wow, think about what does that mean? And here's another thing, another take on that. If you start to really pay attention to this, and let's say this is a game and you're getting more than more than one or two points of views, try to or look at the things that are similar. What are people saying that is very similar? And I can tell you, those are the things that other people then generally see in you. That's your X factor there. And here comes the very, very big thing. Sometimes we need to use our X factors to the fullest and really use it. But there are times when we don't actually need as much. I'll give you an example. You probably, well, now I'm just guessing, but what most people say to me is that I'm powerful, that I'm strong. That's what a lot of them say. I'm creative. Those are the things that people say often to me. Well, I can tell you, Elaine, those are the things that I am. This is just what I am. However, I don't always have to be. I don't always have to be so powerful. Sometimes I need to lower my strength to give space to those who are not as powerful. Because I can be over powerful to other people. So when I know this is my strength, this is my X factor, I can start to play with it. Now I really need it. Now I really don't. You probably heard the phrase that your weakness or your strength grows out of your weaknesses.
Mm-hmm.
You can phrase that another way. Your weaknesses grow out of your strength.
That is so good. You're getting so many great sound bites in here. Your weakness grows out of your strength. That is a real light bulb for me. Thank you for sharing that. That was huge.